Hey there, and thanks for stopping by Sound Body Wisdom. This is just going to be a short video talking about a simple exercise that you can do anytime, anywhere to help you develop your own personal awareness. Sort of get some insight into what's going on behind the scenes and in your unconscious, sort of your habits. Um, Most of the time throughout our days, our unconscious is really calling the shots on how we think and we react and how we feel. And we oftentimes don't realize it. We think we're just these autonomous beings doing what we do. But a huge player is really the unconscious, and sort of any number of bells and whistles it sets off inside based on cues or situations, and we don't even realize it that we're on autopilot because our brains are incredible. They're efficient. They're designed to create habits. The less energy they have to use, the better. So you don't have to think about every little thing. And that's true with emotional responses or even the thoughts that we have, our perceptions. They're influenced so much by this grand sort of network that is happening behind the scenes, that is our unconscious. So my interest really is in what are the things that we can do to expand our awareness of what is happening behind the scenes. I think I was talking to a friend last year, and I was saying, when I grow my awareness, oftentimes there might be something happening behind the scenes, and if I can just glimpse it enough to just kind of grab it by the tail and just say, hey, I see you, then I develop a different relationship with whatever that reaction is or whatever that pattern is that's sort of been playing behind the scenes. And I saw them recently and they were like, oh my God, that stayed with me all year, that idea of just catching it by the tail. And it really helped me to realize that it is an interaction that I have with these habits or these patterns that are running. So it really is that. It's about how do you create space in your day so that you can actually get a glimpse of the triggers or the patterns or the things that are running. Sort of these templates we put in place or that have been put in place uh, for any number of reasons. And ultimately say, hey, are these still serving me? Are these still good for me? Are these still nourishing me? And if they're not, then we're empowered to change them. So, this kind of applies across the board. Like I was saying, it influences our emotions, our thoughts, our reactions. Um, and all of this can translate into physical symptoms and just how we feel day to day. So this is something we want to be able to intervene in or interact with because it's everything. It's who we are and how we feel in the world and what we're capable of. So getting to know what's happening behind the scenes, it's empowering, and it's empowering for making new choices. So no matter what you call it, whether it's meditation or mindfulness practice or just developing your awareness, the name doesn't matter. It's really about finding what works for you so that you can grow it, you can expand it. So with there's lots of different paths, right? So basically you want to see what works for you, and I want to offer something I call interrupting the ordinary. Really, really simple, because a lot of times people think it has to be a really difficult undertaking or oh, it's going to be so much work, and I'm all about just start small. Just keep it simple, keep it real, keep it doable, because if you can just manage something small, you can expand on that. So to me, it's like if you're not able to, take on something that's like a bigger practice, just do one small little practice or little exercise or little tool or whatever you want to call it. And if that works for you, you can always expand on it. So, interrupting the ordinary. So the next time you're doing some like everyday ordinary task, say like brushing your teeth, you're going to take a few extra minutes while you're doing it. We're going to kind of turn it into almost like a treasure hunt of observations. So if you're brushing your teeth, perhaps maybe just simply start out with noticing how much tension you have in your hand. or your fingers, the way they make contact with the brush, or the motion of your wrist or your hand. Maybe notice what thoughts are coming to mind, or the way your feet make contact with the floor. Notice if you are putting your weight in your hips from side to side, left or right. Anything like that. Just go as deep as you can in terms of the layers of observation. And just make note of them. You can't do it right or wrong. There is no way to mess this up. It's just about noticing things. And it's different from the normal. Normally we just brush our teeth without thinking about it. You're going to bring your attention to it. That's the key. You're saying, I'm directing my attention. And as soon as you start being able to direct your attention in something that's autopilot, you're going to change the way your unconscious works. I mean, I know it might be challenging to believe that something so simple might have a long-term benefit, but it really does. Simply interrupting the ordinary, like brushing your teeth and bringing your attention, it allows you to invite something new in the midst of the habitual pathway. So this really just helps you develop a connection to what's the unconscious flow. And it gradually then you can build your ability to interact with this process. So learning to develop this engagement during just routine tasks or sort of innocuous events like brushing your teeth, it's going to help you build your skills for more stressful or triggering situations, or any place where you feel like you just don't understand what's happening or why you do what you do or how to step into making changes. So it's going to help you with those situations in the future. So regular practice of this throughout your day, it just helps to develop it, get it stronger, more flexible. You could think of it as sort of proactive mental hygiene, in that it assists in creating space between your thought and the action. It guides you towards seeing the design of the unconscious, and it gives you an opportunity to interrupt, interact, engage it. So now imagine having the ability for interrupting, interacting, engaging in situations where it is more challenging or difficult. So it really does support you in noticing sort of these previously almost invisible steps that lead up to you perhaps having a reaction or the behavior that you end up doing. Or it can help you notice like what habits are your current default and if they're really helpful for you. And it also shows you the ripple effect of these habits in your mind and your body. So your ability to recognize or identify any of these, it empowers you to interact and make new choices. It supports you in seeing possibilities for shifting patterns or habits you might no longer need. And that to me is what gets exciting. Just that there is glimpses of choice that happens. And if you're able to make any like small changes or interact in small ways, you will always be able to build on that. As soon as you're able to just kind of get a glimpse in between the spaces of habits, or even just realize that a habit is running, you're just so far out in the field of making changes. It's incredible. So I get excited about this. So stay in touch. Give me some feedback or let me know if you get a chance to try it and how it works for you. And I love, I think the thing that is incredible is sort of engaging in this because it's going to be different for everybody. So I can sort of offer this as something to try. But really, you sort of have to take it into the laboratory of you and play around with it and notice what you notice, see how to adapt it to your own sort of habits in your own mind and your own way of being in the world. And that's when you're going to sort of get the juiciest information out of it. So feel free to be in touch with me, and I'm always happy to help people sort of like get creative or improvise, because really that's what it's all about, figuring it out for you. So thanks for stopping by, and take care until the next time.